Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, it's Jason from Prodogz Dog Training coming to you on a beautiful Wednesday morning here in Southern Oregon. Hey, so today's video vlog comes from Lucy in Center Point. Lucy asks, why shouldn't I teach my dog to sit and then down? This is a pretty common thing that I see a lot of new handlers doing. They'll teach the dog to sit and then they'll lure the dog into a down. And one of the main reasons why people do this a lot is it seems easier if we divide the dog in half. If we teach the dog to put the rear down, then it's really easy to get the front end to go down. However, this really confuses your dog when you're really trying to teach him a nice, solid, quick down. And the reason why it confuses the dog is probably before you start to teach the down, you also taught the dog first to sit. So then, later in life, when you're trying to teach the dog to down, the dog sits and then you try to lure the dog in a down. Well, after a while, when you ask the dog to down, usually what happens is the dog just sits and looks at you because in their mind they completed the behavior. Either that or the second thing that happens is the dog downs, but they down really slowly. They first put their rear down and then their back leg or their front legs kind of go out and they just kind of down slowly. With me, when I work with clients and my own dog, I want my dogs to down quickly. The moment I say down, I want them just to drop to the deck right away. This is handy for a couple different reasons. One, if you're ever in a position where, let's say, you're out on a beach or something and your dog sees a bird or maybe another dog, and instead of trying to get the dog to come to you, you can just down the dog right away, walk up and put their leash on. A lot of times if you try to call the dog may not come to you or may come to you kind of slowly and just not complete the behavior. However, if you have a really nice, fast, quick, solid down, you just tell the dog to drop or down or whatever your marker is, the dog drops down and you put the leash on. It also is really handy when you want to work on stay with the dog. So if the dog is used to sitting first and then downing first, a lot of times when you put the dog in a down stay, the dog sometimes will rise up into a sit. And a lot of people get really frustrated at their dog. But in actuality, they have taught their dog inadvertently that this is okay because they kind of mingled their sit and their down together. So one of the ways we teach the dog to do a correct down is a lot of times when you have young puppies and young dogs, before we even teach them to sit, we actually teach them to down first. And we do this a couple different ways. One, you can take food, high value, go from their nose right between their front feet. The dog drops their front end, puts their elbows down, and then you wait and the rest of the body goes down and you reward them. Either that, or if you have a really large dog or even a really small dog, sometimes this is difficult. One, because if you have a small dog, it's really easy for them to put their head down without ever even putting their elbows down. If you have a really large dog, sometimes the dog will just kind of support themselves because they're pretty strong and they don't have to drop the rest of their body down. So if you have a really strong dog or a small dog, sometimes you can take, let's say, a broomstick and you can hold it horizontally above the ground, probably, let's say, depending on the size of the dog, maybe about 6 inches to 8 inches. You can have somebody hold each end and you basically lure the dog underneath that bar. And the moment the dog drops down, boom, you pay the dog. One of the key notes to getting a really nice down is when your dog does complete the behavior, drop the food between the front feet. Okay, don't hand the dog the food out of your hand, drop it between the front feet. And a lot of people are awake, wait a minute, Jason, I don't want my dog to pick up food off the ground. I don't want my dog to search the ground every time I tell him to down. Yes, sometimes this can be a little bit of a product of that. However, if the dog understands that when I down, the food's going to appear between my front feet, this helps with a couple different reasons. One, you can down your dog from a distance and the dog will drop anywhere, because if the dog is used to you handing the food to them out of your hand for the down, a lot of times when you tell the dog to down from a distance, it's either going to come to you and down, or it's probably not going to down at all because you're a ways away from it and it's learned that if you're not right there to feed it, why down? However, if the dog learns anywhere the dog is, you will walk up and you'll drop the food between the front feet. For the down, you can get the dog to down from any distance. The other reasons why this helps is you got to imagine if you have, let's say, a border collie or a medium-sized dog, and you're kind of tall yourself, and your hand is usually about 3 or 4 feet naturally above the dog's head, and you ask the dog to down, why would the dog ever want to go away from your hand? This is why usually people teach the dog to sit first, because it's kind of really easy to get the dog to sit. The dog naturally says, hey, in order to look at your hand, unless I jump up on you, I have to naturally drop my rear end. So if you drop the food between their front feet, and not now, when I say drop it, don't drop it from a distance. A lot of times if you drop it from a distance, the dog will bounce it and bounce away, and then the dog gets up and it kind of ruins your down. But when the dog downs, you take your hand, put it to the ground, open your hand, drop the food there. If you do this technique, I almost guarantee you, 1, you're going to have a quicker and faster down, 2, you're going to have a more reliable down, and 3, you can really easily get your dog to down away from you and from a distance. So anyways, hey, I really appreciate you guys tuning in to today's video vlog on the proper way to teach your dog to down. If you have any questions or comments, I'd really love to hear from you. You can email them to me, or you can, if you're here on Facebook, you can just send me a quick message, or actually just leave a comment right on this video. If you're watching this on YouTube, man, I'd really encourage you to subscribe to my videos. I try to put out a couple videos each week. Would love to hear from you on there. You can also look us up online on our website at www.engageyourdog.com. I'll leave a link in the description down below, or feel free to give me a call at 541-608-2857. We have classes that go every 4 weeks. It's a basic obedience class. It's a really intuitive class. We cover a plethora of different behaviors. That goes every 4 weeks on Monday from 6 to 7. And then again, if that doesn't work for you, we can always do like a one-on-one private session and work on those particular issues that you're having with your dog. So thank you so much for tuning in, and have a blessed day.